Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about crop ecology. That is one uh, important topic to grab because so many different competitive exam, it is being asked from different aspect. Of crop ecology. So crop ecology is significant because ecology means the surrounding. Okay, so unless and until we know about the surrounding of the crop, we cannot manage it properly. Manage what? Managing the surrounding is the basic goal of crop husbandry, right? So ecology means study of relationship between plant and animal with their environment. So basically ecology means any organism, and we have to study about that organism and its interaction with the surrounding. Surrounding means whether it is biotic or abiotic. So there are different factors affecting the organism, like the biotic factor having life, abiotic factor which do not have life. Biotic factor means suppose insect, suppose any microbes, pathogen, any other plant, any other organism, right? Then abiotic factor means it doesn't have life. Okay, so basically abiotic factor like temperature, precipitation, humidity, these are the abiotic factor that affects crop growth and development. So basically ecology means study of relationship between plant and animal with their environment. Environment means either biotic environment factor or abiotic factor. Okay, like that crop ecology means, so ecology I just told that organism with its surrounding. Crop ecology likewise crop and its surrounding. Okay, so different factors that affect the crop. So study about that is known as crop ecology. Ecology term, it was derived from Greek word oikos means house and logos means to study of. Okay, so ecology was derived from Greek word and that means oikos, and it was derived from oikos and logos, which means house and study of. Okay, so basically the living place of that particular organism we are studying about it. Okay, word Okoilogy, it was coined by German scientist Ernst Haeckel. Ernst Haeckel, he first coined the term uh, word ecology, okay, or oikology. He has mentioned in his book Generally Morphology der Organism, which was written in 1866 or published in 1866. Generally Morphology der Organism. It was written by Ernst Haeckel, where the term ecology or oecology was mentioned. So another important points you have to remember, keep in mind, is father of ecology. Father of Indian ecology, Ramdeo Mishra. Ramdeo Mishra is considered as father of Indian ecology. Father of modern ecology, Eugene Odom. And in some textbook you can find G. Evin Hutchinson. And animal ecology, Charles Elton. Okay, so this is basically father of ecology. In some textbook you can find Ernst Haeckel as well. Then crop ecology. Crop ecology likewise, as I mentioned, crop ecology is the study of interrelationship between crop plant and its environment. So when we are growing any crop plant, then there are in its environment there are several factors that affect the crop growth. One is abiotic factor, one is biotic factor. Again, one is aerial factor, one is soil factor. Soil biotic factor means soil microbes. Okay, for the nutrient dynamics like rhizobium, azotobacter, azospirillum, uh, phosphorus solubilizing bacteria, mobilizing biofertilizer, or VAM. Okay, they are soil biotic factor. Soil abiotic factor means nutrients, soil water, soil temperature. Okay, then aerial environment, the biotic factor means other plant, other organism. Okay, any airborne pathogen, insect, birds. Okay, these are aerial biotic factor. Then aerial abiotic factor means relative humidity, temperature, wind, solar radiation, okay, precipitation. This is aerial abiotic factor. So there are different biotic and abiotic factor that affects the crop growth, and to study about this relationship is known as crop ecology, and it is of two type. One is autecology, which is also known as population ecology. Another one is synecology or scene ecology, whatever you can say. That is community ecology. So when we are studying about individual organism or species or organism with its interaction with environment, then that is called autecology. So basically it is self ecology or population ecology. So when we are studying about one species or organism and its interaction with the surrounding or environment, then that is called autecology. Scene ecology means study of group of organisms of different species associated together as an unit in form of community. So community into environment interaction is scene ecology. Individual organism into environment interaction, that is autecology. Then there are different levels of ecology we can find. There are different levels of ecology. The, the smallest level is individual. So individual, group of individual, when they come together, that is called population. Population, group of population, when they come together, that is called community. Group of communities when they come together, that is called ecosystem. Group of ecosystem when they come together, that is called biome. And group of biomes when they come together, that is called biosphere. So biosphere is the largest form of level of ecology or top level of ecology, and the smallest unit of ecology is individual. So individual means uh, unit living thing or organism. Unit living thing or organism, that is called individual. Then group of individual organism that live in the same area, that is called population. Group of individual organism when they live in same area, that is called population. Then community means population live together in defined area, that is called community. Then community and its non-living surrounding, that is called ecosystem. Then large geographical region with same plant life and climate, that is called biome. And the part of earth that contains all ecosystem, that is called biosphere. Okay, as we know, our earth is surround divided into different four different spheres. One is biosphere, one is lithosphere, one is hydrosphere, one is atmosphere. Okay, so this is the level of ecology. Okay, now how life forms. Life forms from atom to, these are the strata. The smallest one is atom or subatom, you can say. Then atom groups into molecule, molecules group into macromolecules like phospholipid. Then they grouped into cell, like different types of cells are available like clara cell. Then it forms tissue, like epithelial tissue is one example. Like that, different tissues are found. Then tissues are combined to form organ like lung. Then organ system like respiratory system. Then organism like lion or birds, anything. Then it forms population. Okay, suppose pride of lion. Then community, lions and zebras. Then ecosystem, where all the organisms are found, like most of the organisms. Then biosphere, total life on the earth, that is biosphere. Like that, they are being stratified or leveled. Then ecosystem is nothing but, it is ecological system. Okay, ecosystem is nothing but ecological system, which is defined as community of living organism in conjunction with the non-living component of their environment interacting as a system. So ecosystem is community of living organism and its surrounding and its interaction, that is ecosystem or ecological system. Biotic and abiotic component linked together through nutrient cycle and energy flow. How biotic and abiotic system? So one is biotic component, one is abiotic component. How they are being linked? They are being linked in the form of nutrient cycle and energy cycle. Okay. So basically, the term ecosystem, it was coined by Arthur Tansley or A.G. Tansley. A.G. Tansley, Arthur G. Tansley, in 1935, he coined the term ecosystem. If we consider the ecosystem as a dynamic entity, and ecosystem is dynamic, it is changing with respect to time. So, ecosystem is having external and internal factors. Climate is the most important that determines the biome. Okay, biome basically determined by climate, which type of climate it is. So there is temperate climate, tropical climate, so it is influencing the biome the most, right? Then in ecosystem, one process that is going on, that is called homeostasis, and that is one important process to maintain the dignity or to maintain the status quo of the life. Okay, Homeostasis is nothing but the tendency of ecosystem to resist change and remain in a state of equilibrium. What is homeostasis? It is the tendency of ecosystem to resist the change happening in the surrounding, to resist that change and to remain or maintain in a state of equilibrium. That is called homeostasis. And application of understanding the homeostasis, that is called cybernetics. So cybernetics is nothing but the study of knowing the homeostasis process. Okay. Then what are the different components of ecosystem? What are the different components of ecosystem? For description purpose, it can be abiotic component, it can be biotic component. Okay. The abiotic component of ecosystem are inorganic substances, for example, carbon, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water, these are inorganic substances. Then organic substances or organic compounds like protein, carbohydrate, lipid, these are organic component. Then climatic regime like rainfall, temperature, these are climatic regime or abiotic components. Then biotic components we can differentiate into producer, like all the autotrophic organism like algae and the higher plants, they are autotrophic in nature and they are called producer. Then macro consumer or phagotrophs, they are heterotrophic, ingest other organism or organic matter. Then micro consumer or saprotroph or phagotroph. Okay. So basically, micro consumer are heterotrophs or decomposers. So they basically decompose the things micromolecule, and macro consumer like us or animals, they're macro consumers. So these are different components of one ecosystem. So if we'll talk about the energy flow, as I was mentioning, the biotic and abiotic factors or a component of ecosystem, they are basically linked with nutrient cycle and energy flow. So if we'll see the energy flow of the ecosystem, so basically this is the energy input or ingested energy or that is being taken up by any organism. So next energy is uh, used, okay, used by the organism, then that is called net energy use. Then somehow assimilated energy. So something is used, then something is assimilated. This is assimilated energy. Again, assimilated energy, some used in respiration. Respiration means for day-to-day activity, some energy is being produced from that energy, derived energy. So that is being used in respiration. Some energy is used in production cycle, okay, production of different biomolecule. Then some energy from that production cycle goes into growth of the organism. Then some excreted energy, it is excreted in the form of, let's say, some kind of like photorespiration or some kind of uh, extra energy that is being excreted. Then some energy is not used, that is basically that came out of that system. Okay. Then something production, we have already discussed, something come into biomass accumulation, and something that is being stored in the organism. So this is the energy flow diagram. Okay. So this is how the energy is being used in one organism, right? So this is called universal model of ecological energy flow. This one is called universal model of ecological energy flow. Next, let's discuss about functional analysis of ecosystem. In functional analysis, we have the dynamic aspect of ecosystem. One is we have studied right now the component part like descriptive approach or purpose. Another one is functional analysis where we broadly grouped them into energy cycle or energy circuit, then food chain, diversity pattern in time and space, then nutrient or biogeochemical cycle, then control cycle or cybernetics. Control cycle is also known as cybernetics. Nutrient cycle is also known as biogeochemical cycle. So these are different functional analysis of ecosystem. Now, uh, little bit earlier we were discussing about producer, composer and decomposer. So basically producer are nothing but the green plants and some algae are there. Then again producer are of two types, one is primary producer, another one is secondary producer. Primary producer are nothing but the green plants or autotrophs. Secondary producers are heterotrophs. Okay. Then something called consumer. Consumer again are of different types like first order consumer, second order consumer, and third order consumer. First order consumer are nothing but the herbivores which directly consume the autotrophs. Then second order consumer, they are basically the carnivore organism eating herbivore. So basically the first order organism who eat the herbivores, then they are called second order consumer. Then third order consumer who eat the carnivores. Okay, that is called third order consumer. Then another form of uh, or biotic factor is there, that is called decomposer. Okay, they are called reducers, they are called scavengers as well. So basically they decompose the dead organic matter into simple inorganic substance. So basically the role of decomposer is organic matter to convert it into inorganic substance. Okay, that is decomposition process, where the basically the microbes that take a major role like bacteria, actinomycetes, fungus, they take major role. Then something called parasites who actually live on other organism or host organism and derive food from them. They are called parasite. Then predation, they prey upon other organism. They directly consume other organism. Parasite, what is the difference? Basic difference: parasite live inside the organism and it take up the nutrient unknowingly. But predator, it directly consume that organism. Then important aspect of ecosystem, that is food chain. Okay, so food chain is nothing but the transfer of food energy through a series of organisms with repeated eating and being eaten. So basically in food chain what happens, one organism is linked with other organism through food or nutrition point of view. Okay, so basically one organism is feeding or eating some organism, and another organism is eating that organism, another organism is, let's say, decomposing that organism. Like that they are being linked. Okay, so there is two different types of food chain. One is grazing food chain, another one is detritus food chain. Grazing food chain starts from green plants. Some herbivores, they graze that plant, then carnivore eat that herbivore. Okay, then detritus food chain, it starts with dead organic matter. So suppose microbes they consume the dead organic matter, then detritus organism they consume the microbe, then predator consume the detritus organism. Okay, so this is how detritus food chain uh, it acts. Okay, grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Then food wave. What is food wave? What is food chain? What is food wave? Food wave is interlocking pattern of interconnected food chains. So there are different food chains. They are linked with different chains or interlocking pattern. That is called food wave. So basically, presence of food web increases stability of the ecosystem. So when food chain is good, then stability is also better in the ecosystem. Then another important aspect in ecosystem, that is called ecological pyramid. Okay, ecological pyramid. It is nothing but basically, have you seen pyramid? Pyramid, how it looks? So base is broad, then it is becoming narrow towards upward. So this is how pyramid looks. So pyramid, ecological pyramid means the diagrammatic representation of relationship between number, biomass, energy content of primary producer, consumer of first order, and top consumer in any ecosystem. So basically it is the relationship between the producer, first order consumer, then different consumer and producer, the relationship in terms of their energy, their number, their biomass, that is called ecological pyramid. It can be of different type. It can be of number, it can be of biomass, it can be of energy. So let's see discuss Asa, who first described the ecological pyramid, that is Charles Elton. You have to remember all these things, right? Charles Elton first described about ecological pyramid in 1927. So there are different like three different types of ecological pyramid. One is pyramid of number, that is upright in case of grassland ecosystem. Okay, inverted in case of tree ecosystem. Okay, because number of tree are very less, number of uh, grasses very large. Okay, so likewise you have to remember. Then pyramid of biomass, it is upright in case of mostly terrestrial land, and aquatic ecosystem it is mostly inverted. Then inverted in case of marine ecosystem as well as aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial it is upright, aquatic it is inverted. Pyramid of biomass. Then pyramid of energy, it is always upright. Remember, it is always upright. Okay, pyramid of energy is always upright. Upright means what? Upright means uh, this one is upright. Okay, inverted means if the energy would be like this, but energy doesn't seems to be like this. Okay, so there are different types of pyramid we have discussed. Then let's discuss about structure of an ecosystem. Ecosystem structure is the function of species compositor. That means what are the different types of species present in the ecosystem. Then stratification, how they are being stratified. Then standing crop, standing state. Okay, so about how, at what stage the organism is, what is the species composition of that particular location or ecosystem, then how they are being stratified, based on that the structure of ecosystem depends. Then proper functioning of ecosystem is the function of productivity, decomposition process, producer consumer relation, then energy flow, nutrient cycling. So proper functioning of the ecosystem, it depends on productivity, decomposition, producer consumer relationship, energy flow and nutrient cycle. So these are the active factor which govern the ecosystem. Okay, productivity means rate of biomass production, that is gram per meter square or kilocalorie per meter square in terms of energy. Okay, one is primary productivity, another one is secondary productivity. So secondary productivity is nothing but the amount of biomass that is synthesized by consumer per unit area per unit time, that is secondary productivity. Primary productivity, that is basically one is gross primary productivity, another one is net primary productivity, which is deduction of respiration energy loss from gross primary productivity. So gross primary productivity means gross photosynthesis, what is being done by the plant or plant basically. Net primary productivity means plant is respiring and it is using some energy. So when we deduct the respiration from gross primary productivity, that comes to net primary productivity. Then another important aspect of ecosystem, that is ecological succession. Ecological succession. Okay, it is nothing but the successive development of different biotic community at the same site. Ecological succession means successive development of different biotic component at the same size. So there are different, like three different ecological succession out there. One is pioneer community, one is sterile community, and another, the last one is climax community. Pioneer community, remember, pioneer community, serial community and climax community. Pioneer community is the first biotic community at base area. Okay, pioneer community is the first biotic community in an ecosystem, whose growth rate is higher and but life expectancy is, or lifespan is less. Then serial community having various biotic community development, and it is during succession and transitional. This is the in-between community between pioneer and climax community. Climax community is the stable community. So it is lateral, it developed with respect to time. So it is mostly stable and it is equilibrium and self-perpetuating. And it is the final biotic community, that is climax community. So first community is pioneer community, which is initial community. Then the last one is stable, that is climax community. Now, decomposition, it is one important aspect of any ecosystem, because unless and until decomposition happen, then there will be I mean stack of different pollutants, different organism, and the life in the earth would be inhabitable. So decomposition is also having important role in nutrient cycling, energy flow, and cleaning of the environment and habitat well-being. Okay, so decomposition means it is the formation of simple inorganic compound from organic compound. So how this process happen? One is fragmentation. The first step is fragmentation, then catabolism, then leaching, humification, then mineralization process. What are the decomposers available? One is microbes like bacteria, fungus, then detritivores like earthworm. Okay, then parasites, they take part in decomposition process. So what are the factors affecting decomposition? One is chemical nature of the substance or biomolecule, then temperature, moisture, aeration, soil pH. These are the factors, they govern the decomposition process. Then how energy flow happen in an ecosystem? How energy flow happen in an ecosystem? Energy is one important component, as we have mentioned. Energy as well as nutrient, they are the connecting link between biotic and abiotic community. So basically, the energy is produced by the producer, that is the green plants or algae. So it utilizes photosynthetically active radiation, which is having 400 to 700 nanometer wavelength. The visible radiation, in the visible radiation, that is 380 to 760. Within that, the 400 to 700 nanometer, that is mostly the called photosynthetically active radiation, because in that range of the wavelength of light, a plant can photosynthesize. So that is around 50% of the total radiation we are getting from sun, and but plant utilizes only 2 to 10% of the photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, so most of the light, they fall, they translocated, they bounce back. Only 2 to 10% is being utilized by the plant. Only 10%. See, one law is there, that is called Lindemann law of energy transfer, or energy transfer in a ecosystem, and it was proposed by Lindemann in 1942, and it is called 10% law. So only 10%, this law said that only 10% of the total energy stored in a trophic level transfer to the next trophic level of a food chain. So trophic level means, suppose producer to first order consumer to second order consumer, like that. So that is called trophic level. So from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% energy is passed. Other 90% is wasted. So that is called 10% law, and it was proposed by Lindemann in 1942. So let's say solar energy, it is coming to producer, or then it is moving to herbivore, then carnivore, then decomposure. So each step, only 10% of the producer energy, how much energy producer does have, only 10% pass to herbivore, then only 10% pass to carnivore, then 10% pass to decomposer, like that. Flow of energy is unidirectional in nature. It is not like in reverse way, it cannot move. It is only in one direction. Suppose solar energy to producer, producer to herbivore, to carnivore, to decomposer, not like a decomposer to carnivore, again herbivore. So that is unidirectional in an ecosystem. Then amount of energy flow decreases with successive trophic level, and producer capture 1 to 5% of total solar radiation. We have already discussed that. Okay, now there are different interaction happen between species or organism or population. So that is called population interaction. So when some organism, they live together, they affect each other. Okay, and so that effect of one organism on another, that is called interaction. Okay, interaction can be of several types. So these are the types of interaction. One is parasitism, where one organism is host, another organism is parasite. So parasite is basically, there is positive effect on parasite and negative effect on host plant. Then commensalism, when one plant is getting benefited and other plant, there is no effect on that, no harmful effect, no beneficial effect. Mutualism, when both plant help together, so there is positive interaction on both plant, for example symbiosis. Then predation, that is again one plant is getting uh, positive influence, like one plant is eating, so it is surviving, another plant is degrading, so that is negative. Then competition, both plant affected due to competition, negative interaction. And amensalism, uh, one plant is having negative impact on another organism, uh, is having no impact. Okay, like antibiosis and allelopathy, they can be example of amensalism. So these are some population interaction. Okay, now energy ecological indicators, there are several ecological indicators available, so to know which type of organism it is. So basically keystone species, you have to remember all these keywords. Okay, they are coming frequently in the examinations. So keystone species means any species that has a disproportionately large effect on its environment relative to the abundance. Relative to its abundance, it has disproportionately large effect on the ecosystem. Okay, so that is called keystone species. Okay, then umbrella species, that is species selected for making conservation related decision. Umbrella species means those endangered species, or that is about to endanger, so they are basically umbrella species. Then flagship species, basically raising the profile of a particular species. Okay, that is called flagship species. So any species we are concerned about, that is flagship species. Umbrella species, any species we need to conserve, that is umbrella species. Keystone species, which is having significant importance, okay, that is keystone species. Then ecosystem services, what is this term? Ecosystem services means whatever services we are getting through ecosystem, like suppose nutrient cycling, suppose organic or carbon dioxide cycling, okay, carbon cycling, suppose there is ecosystem stability, then we are getting some food, nutrition. So that is called ecosystem services. So basically human benefited from multitude resources and process of nature ecosystem. So that is called ecosystem services, and it is of five category. One is provisioning ecosystem services, that is basically production of food and water to provide water and food to the human. Then regulatory ecosystem service, that is control of climate and disease, that is regulating, regulatory. Then supporting ecosystem service, that is nutrient cycle, crop pollination, etc. Then cultural ecosystem service like spiritual, recreational. Then preserving ecosystem service, that like maintaining the biodiversity. So there are different five different types of ecosystem service out there. Now let's discuss about different important points or important question and answer that is being constantly asked in different competitive exam. You can go through this. Okay. Uh, so basically, in a true ecosystem, the producer is always greater than consumer. The number or biomass of producer is always greater than consumer in a true ecosystem. If the producer is less than the consumer, then the ecosystem is considered to be dead. Maintenance of a constant internal environment within constantly changing environment, that is called homeostasis, and study about homeostasis is known as cybernetics. Then specific part of habitat occupied by individual or species which is circumscribed by its range of tolerance, range of movement, microclimate, type of food and availability, shelter type, limit of activity is called niche of that environment. Okay. So specific part of habitat that is occupied by individual of a species which is circumscribed by its range of tolerance, range of movement, microclimate, type of food and its availability, shelter type, predation, timing, activity is called niche. An ecological niche is used by a single species. An abundance of species population within its habitat is called a niche density. Okay. Now, species that is low in abundance that dominant species, but its removal causes serious disruption in structure, that is called keystone species. We have already discussed. Low in abundance but has significant influence of the on the ecosystem or community, that is called keystone species. Now, genetically distinct or dissimilar variety, population or race within a species which is adapted to specific environment condition, that is called ecotype or ecospecies. Ecotype is nothing but ecological species, though ecological type. So basically this is the type of species or species subgroup of species which is which is uh, suitable for or which is live worthy in a particular type of environment, that is ecotype or ecospecies. Then association of different organism forming closely integrated community, that is called biocoinosis, that is proposed, the term proposed by Carl Mabius. Okay, biocoinosis is nothing but the association of different organism or farming closely integrated with community. Then species within same geographical area, it is called sympatric species. Species within same geographical area is called sympatric species. In different geographical area, that is called allopatric species. Then ability of a population of living species into increase under ideal environment condition like sufficient food supply, no predation, lack of disease, that is called biotic potential. Biotic potential is potential of an organism in a particular environment having optimum resource base. Then hold of natural and cultural environment by human generation after generation is called integrational equality or sustainable development. Total number of different species on earth, that is called biological diversity. The national aquatic animal of India, that is Ganges river dolphin. Okay, it is declared by Ministry of Environment and Forestry on 18th May 2010. Then ecological efficiency or any efficiency, that is energy output by energy input, that is efficiency. Energy is nothing but the capacity to do work, and the units are like gram calorie or heat to 1 gram calorie to 1 degree Celsius. then or expressed in BTU, that is British thermal unit, or heat 1 pound of water by 1 degree Fahrenheit, uh, that is called energy or unit of energy. 1 joule, basically there are some conversion that is also being asked in different competitive exam. 1 joule is equal to 0.24 calorie or 10 to the power 7 or 1 Langley is the 1 calorie per centimeter square. 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second or 14.3 calorie per minute or 3.7 into 10 to the power 7 horsepower per hour. Okay, this is the energy conversion. Then there are different laws of energy in the ecosystem. One is first law of thermodynamics, that is energy never created nor destroyed, only may be transferred from one form to another, that is called first law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics proposed no process involves an energy transfer will spontaneous occurs unless there is a degradation of the energy from a constant form into dispersed form. Okay, that is second law of thermodynamics, you have to remember that. Then there are different biogeochemical cycle exist in the ecosystem, like oxygen cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, or other micro and macronutrient cycle, which helps in maintaining ecosystem services. Now, ecosystem productivity is not divided into primary productivity and secondary productivity. Primary productivity affecting factors like light, temperature, rainfall, nutrient, etc. Then level of ecosystem, like high productive ecosystem, average productive ecosystem, less productive ecosystem, low productive ecosystem. So high productive ecosystems are like tropical forest ecosystem, coral ecosystem. Average productive ecosystem like agricultural crop, temperate forestry. Then less productive ecosystem like grassland ecosystem like savanna. Then low productive ecosystem like arid land or desert. So these are different levels of productive of ecosystem, and it was proposed by E.P. Odom in 1959. Now, uh, in the next lecture, we'll discuss about climate and plant response to climate. So this was about ecology and ecosystem we have covered. If you have any doubt in this particular lecture, I know it is a lengthy lecture because we have covered so many parts of the ecology and ecosystem. Any doubt you are facing, you can let me know in the comment section, or anything you want to know anything extra from any part of agriculture or any environment part, then you can let me know in the comment section so that we can prepare another lecture on that. So see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep reading, keep signing.